management system in the construction industry. And I am Sivraj Patil, roll number 103, 119, 102, civil section B. Each of our team member will briefly discuss one of the following role of DBMS. Me discuss about how it is efficient and authorize data access and manipulation. Saran discuss about asset and inventory management. Sally discuss about how it maintain a relationship between data through RDBMS. Shubham Aryan discuss about employee and project management. And Shubham Kumar discuss about accounting and finance management. Next slide. Slide. Next slide. Guys, DBMS play an important role in data management field because it is easy, efficient, and multi-axis. Now I discuss it one by one. First, effective updates. BDMS offer easy option for updating data table, adding new one, and deleting unnecessary data. In a company or industry, it will add new sales information, update the customer's name, and subtract products from the total product list. And this way, manual labor is saved, confusion is avoided, and work progress is smooth. Second, improve efficiency. DBMS helps in efficiently managing massive amount of data, enabling user to perform different tasks at the same instance. By incorporating a DBMS, one can operate all the data and maintain workflow from a single software application. It is essential for business because they offer an efficient way of handling large amount and multiple types of data. The ability to access data efficiently allow company to make informed decision quicker. Next slide. Next slide. Saran. Third, accessing data and is one of the major benefit of DBMS is that they make it really easy to handle massive amount of data. They create provision for organizing, storing, selecting, and working with diverse type of data. Each of the modern database is controlled with the help of a programming language. This language lets user access, update, deleting information from the database. It can help business to a great degree in building, controlling database management system. Using database become much easier with the structured query language and employee can find information within a second. Next slide. Fourth, multi-access. A database management system makes it possible for multi-authorized user to access the same database from different places in different way to fulfill different intents. For example, an HR admin can evaluate early salary rise by accessing employee present pay and increment increase decided by their manager to determine that amount. At the same time, the development team can access the same database to recruit attempt to replace a team member who has fallen ill. Now, Sally, continue it. Sally,
Uh, Hi everyone, I'm Shalidas. Now I'm going to speak about relational database management. The structure of the relational database management system is based upon the relational data model introduced by E.F. Scott of IBM Research in 1970. This model is mathematical relations. Its building block is tables and values. The functionality is based upon set theory and first order predicate logic. Once this concept was out, it quickly garnered interest among a number of vendors who built several commercial implementations based upon this model. One of the most important functions of relational database management system programs is that it allows different data tables to relate to one another. For example, in construction field, this software deals with design, cost estimating, planning as an integral method, uh, which makes it more easy and organized. The tables have an identifier called primary key, and the data value are stored in the form of tables. Normalization is present in RDBMS. Next slide, please. Sharon, can you change? Next slide. Thank you. A relationship database is a system that organizes information into neat, orderly structure. RDBMS accommodates large number of records, provides data to many users simultaneously, and serves as a central data repository for application programs. A database eases the task of data management, making information more accessible, secure, and useful. Each row in the table has the same shape, and the value in each cell of the row is of the appropriate type for the column or has a null value. Each row in the table is uniquely identifiable, which is usually interpreted as meaning that a certain column or set of columns of the table are the primary key for the table. The value in columns making up the primary key will not be null, and each row can be identified by the contents of the primary key. The idea of the relational database and its associated features that form a package called RDBMS flowers on the basic concept of a collection of relations. Each relation is represented as a table, and the rows in the table represent a collection of related data values. The table and the column name gives a clue to the meaning of the value in each row. For example, let's say there is a table named employee which contains all the details of the employee. Each row in the employee table represents a specific real world entity such as a record of an employee. The column names such as employee ID, name, birth date, join date determine how to interpret the data values in each record according to the column. It is, of course, all the values in the column must be the same data type, otherwise they disturb consistency. Today, there are many popular RDBMS such as IBDM DB2, MySQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, Microsoft Factors. The most commercial relationship database management system implement structural query language SQL as a de facto language to communicate with database. Some say SQL has no more other relationship with the relational model except as a communication means for availing the storage and retrieval services of the database. However, we must also understand that the words cannot be separated from their sound. SQL cannot be separated from RDBMS. SQL is very much a part of it. Next slide, please. Thank you. Advantages of RDBMS. First one is simplicity. The data model that underlies the relation database is more easily implemented and managed than other models. The vast amount of information that companies want to store in a long term are organized without problems in structure of tables on which the relational database model is based. Next, scarce data redundancy. The normal form of the relational model set a norm that has the purpose of avoiding duplications. If the rules of normalizations are applied consistently, relational systems facilitate data storage free of redundancies since it's only necessary to edit the data only once, which simplifies especially the internal and technical maintenance of the data. High data consistency. Standardized relational database allows the storage of data without contradiction, thus contributing to the consistency of the data. Likewise, relational system present functions which integrity conditions are defined and controlled automatically. transaction that compromise the consistency of the data are blocked. Set-oriented data processing. The relation database system is based on set-oriented processing that subdivides each entity into minimum values. This allows you to connect different entities through the content as well as perform complex queries such as join. Thank you. Now my friend will continue from here.
Thank you, Shelly. I hope I'm audible.
You're audible.
Thank you. Okay. So my name is Sharan Balasubramanian, roll number 103-119-101, and I will brief about the role of database management system in inventory and asset management. So to start with, what is inventory and asset management? So first point says inventory and asset management involves a systematic approach to sourcing, storing, counting, and selling inventory. Inventory as in both raw materials and finished goods. So whatever the industry we take, inventory forms a very essential part of the industry. So the whole industry runs based on acquiring materials, processing them, and then selling the products. So we need a management system that will keep track of the raw materials we are purchasing, or the intermediate processed materials, or the finished goods, so that the company runs smoothly. So I need to continuously monitor what is being purchased and what is being stored. So to give an example, say I am purchasing machinery for my construction project. So I need to keep track of that machinery. If I don't keep track of that machinery, there are chances of theft or misuse of machinery. Or say after the machinery is deteriorated, say I sell it off, and then after selling it off, say if I have issues, so I need to know what exactly is happening with that machinery. So for that, I need a proper system that keeps track of what is happening to my company's asset or company's inventory. So that is what is inventory and asset management system. Conventionally, this can be done as paperwork. So say I'm having a construction site, and continuously for construction of a multi-story building, continuously I'm purchasing steel. So what I can do is, whenever the steel comes, I can count and I can keep track of the amount of steel being purchased and what amount of steel is being utilized in the construction. So that I can do using a paperwork. But what happens is, for large scale construction projects, this becomes very tedious, and it's very time consuming, and it consumes a lot of labor. So what alternative we have is mentioned in the fourth point. Database management system facilitates a computerized and synchronized inventory management system that makes the process less tedious and more efficient. So if I use a DBMS system, I can facilitate a computerized process. So the number of labor I need to keep track of my inventory is less. So I can just have a person who is entering continuously into the system the amount of steel that is coming in, that is the amount of steel that is being used. I can just have one person monitor it. And synchronized. So what synchronized means is, so say if a batch of steel has arrived, so if I enter it in my system, the whole institution can know that the steel has arrived. So there is no there is no necessity to so everyone can access the data. So it allows less man labor and yet synchronized system. So this makes the process less tedious and more efficient. So I don't need to write a lot of paperwork and then store those records. So it reduces all that unnecessary process, and it makes this process more efficient. So there is a schematic diagram on the side here. So here we can see actually this is a general schematic diagram for both manual system as well as the computer DBMS system. We can see in the center that is the inventory database, and then we also have other databases: supplier database, customer database, and then the financial system database. So supplier database will contain all the sourcing. So where I can purchase my raw material. So all that data will be contained in my supplier database. So whenever the employee feels that there is a need to order some equipment, so he can and then order it. So the supplier shipment. So we can also have a system where the supplier sends kind of an information saying that yes, the order has been processed. I can also store that in my inventory system saying that okay, my order. I'm sorry for the interruption. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. So my DBMS system allows to create such an all-in-one system. So it can be done with the DBMS system. So this is a very important. It plays a very important role in inventory and asset management. Okay. So further, how can I identify each of my inventory? So what I can do is for each of my inventory material or inventory final finished good. So yeah. So I can make a sticker kind of thing and stick it to my inventory materials and can easily keep track of it. Keep track of it. Suppose say I want to count the number of items present in my inventory. Instead of manually counting and making it a lot of time, I can just simply use scanners. So yeah. So as you can see in this picture, a lady is using a scanner to scan the inventory items. So a similar way, I can just go on scanning and then I can find the take count of the inventory items. So the in the DBMS system, I can store the values, the data like date of purchase of the equipment. Yeah, so I can store the identity tag and then other details of the inventory item. So simply by scanning this tag, I can access all the details about that item, particular item. So this can be done, and then we can also sync technologies like GPS tracking along with this RFID tag. So if I say if I'm handling heavy equipments in my inventory, like machinery and then very costly lab testing equipments, and I need to keep a watch on that, so I can simply sync it with my GPS tracking system, and then whenever I type in the identity tag of that particular item, so I can access the location where it is being used, for what project it is being used. So is it being used wisely or not? So all that I can monitor easily. Okay, so moving further, yeah, so easy to keep count of the materials. So as I said, by simply scanning the materials, we can easily keep count. And one more thing is we can even create a data, a backup for the available data. Say I'm having a machinery right now, and then so I'll have the data of the machinery till I sell it. So if I create a backup and store it, so it might be useful when there is a dispute, when I have a dispute later also. So that can be possible with a computerized DBMS system. So if I'm using a manual system, I may lose the paperwork. So I may not be able to store a lot of paperwork over all the years. So that is possible with a computerized database management system. In keeping track of shelf life and expiry date. Yeah. So in construction industry, shelf life is an important terminology because we handle a lot of materials like cement, paint, and then even timber, wood, and all. So all these have a shelf life, right? So gradually, if we are storing them for a long time, they will eventually start losing their quality, right? So I can do two things. So whenever I'm in need of a particular material, say a cement, so I can use the one with the earliest purchase date, right? So if I do that, so I can somewhat handle the shelf life issue. So I can use the cement that was purchased the earliest first, and then after that I can use the later purchased ones. So something similar I can do. And one more thing is I can check whether the cement has been stored for so long that it becomes unusable. So that also I can check if I have a proper computer database management system. So I can keep track of the shelf life of the equipment. For regular material orders, the DBM system can be used to place orders from sellers and facilitate payments. Yeah. So suppose, say, as the example of steel I gave. So if I have to, like, 2 days once I need to keep ordering steel, so I can just computerize it. I can 2 days once it will automatically send a purchase order to the particular seller saying that steel needs to be delivered, and I can do that, and I can also facilitate the payment for the seller also through this system using this database management system. So even the financial department can easily access. So the purchase, whatever the purchase documents, they can easily access from the same database management system. Yeah, so I can check whether an inventory is being unused for a long time or something. So if it's not being used means, so I can decide what to do further with it. So all these things can be monitored using a proper database management system. And then yeah, so based on the material storage trend data, future storage capacity expansion projects can be planned. So say I can see, so this is what my company is producing, or this is what my company needs. So seeing that, I can make a trend, and then I can see, okay, so if I may need another warehouse, I may need to construct another warehouse, so I can plan for the expansion projects using that data. And we can also analyze this data for reviewing the company's policies. Like every company will have a policy of how to purchase for the inventory. Like for some high value equipments, they need to get permission from the board of directors and all that. So we can analyze the data and see that, okay, so there is a problem with buying inventory. So the employees are not being able to properly utilize this. So they can review their policy even using these by analyzing these data. So that is one more thing. Yeah, and furthermore, the availability of a common database makes inventory management a transparent process. So as everyone can easily access the data, so they can see what is happening. So there will be no screens, like everyone can see who's purchasing what. So for what they are purchasing, everything can be monitored. So that makes the process very transparent when we are using a database management system, enhancing the quality and speed of work done by the employees as they have authorized access to the inventory items. So if someone with authority over the inventory items can simply take permission, and then they can use the inventory items, whatever it may be. So it makes the when we have a transparent process, the employees can access the inventory items easily and get the work done. So that is the final point. So with this, I conclude the inventory asset management. Next person will continue. Thank you.
Hello, ma'am. I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible.
Okay, so I'm Shubham, and my topic is employee and project management. So, here are two paragraphs. I will give a brief idea about it. What is employee and project management first? So, as we know, in today's era, industries are expanding rapidly, and a lot of employees are involved in this. So, basically, we have to prepare, collect and prepare registers of many employees and their informations. So, in early days, registers were used, but as we know, many registers are difficult to handle. So we need some advanced machines or techniques which will handle our datas, and at the same time it should be good and user friendly to employees also. So here comes the database management system, a computerized system. So it is a good and user friendly system, and is very important as employee and brand managers in the company must be able to use the said system in a easy and simple manners. Okay, it is extremely important that the brand management consider the perspective and usability of the system from every employee's perspective, because if they are not able to use the system efficiently, the entire purpose is defeated. Means they want to say that means it should be accessible to every employee, because if some of the employee are not able to access, then no use of this system. And some systems have unique features like drag and drop. Yeah, these are basically tools of that softwares, which means which makes easy to handle for the employees. So means these software are basically designed by data scientists, and advanced artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms are involved in this. And the softwares, some softwares names I want to take: MySQL, Informix, Oracle, DB management. These are the softwares that basically used in our industries and in construction industries. Next slide. Hello, Sharon.
Yeah, change it, Shubham. Is it visible?
Yeah. So here are two interfaces you can see. First one is employer leaderboard. So here, so it is showing the, means, the score of the employees. That means in per week or per month that they are working. So this is very helpful, as this will create some competition between employees, and the employees who are, means, lethargic or lazy, they will they will easily see this, and they can, means, improve their skills, so that they can get more salary and all that. And here, many tabs you can see, like salaries. And so it is, means it is very easy to handle by their boss also. Means they can easily see through this, and they can easily find who is like not working, whose salary has to be cut. So this is very useful. And here left side you can see employee management system. So here, this is the, means, interface that means employee has to give to to the company, so that they can, means, complete the information. Next slide. Hello. Yeah. So yeah, I told earlier system means the records are maintained in registers. Yeah, that I told previously, that registers were maintained for the, means, datas, and their means that all datas were collected in registers, and it was basically time consuming process. So a lot of time was involved in searching and editing and updating. So means it was not, means if a new employee comes, then again they have to do all this. So it was very time taking. So a new system, that is proposed system, was computerized system. So it helps in maintaining the computerized employee details. And it was from computer, we know it is very easy to calculate, and it's basically a machine. So it was very easy to calculate the salary and attendance marking. And as we know, in many industries they use that means automatic attendance, that fingerprint is there. So it's very easy to attend, mark attendance. And easy calculation of various leave in some employees taking leave, they can easily through in computer they can easily mark their means attendance when they are leaving. And computerized events and request management. So it is very means easy to means recognize events and request from, means if, like if a, like if a person from other company wants to say something or wants to share something, it can be easily done through this system. And it is very friendly, means eco friendly, means it's very friendly to the users, so that they can use easily. Next slide.
Shubham, I have changed it. Is it visible?
Yeah. So advantages are means provide computerized system for maintaining records, and more efficient and reliable. Yeah, means this is more means very less time consuming. And one more advantage, very important advantage, is that many datas can be stored with less computer memory. So it is very great. And human errors can be neglected, means a computer doesn't make any much error. So it, and efforts for maintaining daily data, so it is very easy to stores all the data in the computer. And avoid data manipulations, also avoid data inconsistency and redundancy. So these are the advantages. And now I like to add some disadvantages also. This is not in the slide, but I will tell. Means, see, as a lot of data is involved, there is a chances of data leaking or data hacking. So we must means we must hire some ethical hackers, so that their data must be saved. So the major disadvantage, that the chances of getting data leaked or hacked, this was the main disadvantage. There is no, it's very good system in today's era. So that's was from my side. And now I hand over my mic to Shubham Kumar from for next topic. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Subham. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, you're audible. And can you tell your roll number and likely speed up your
Yes.
presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Next slide, Saran. Ma'am, my name is Subham Kumar with roll number 104.
Okay, you can start the presentation.
Okay. So let us know how the accounting system and the database management system is interrelated with each other. So database management system uses the internet services to communicate reports, queries, and distribute other information throughout the accounting system. The process of computerized accounting system uses database to store and retrieve data in the form of interrelated data tables. So next slide, Saran. Saran.
Yeah, I have changed it.
Okay. So there are various roles of database management system in accounts. I wish to list some of them. Like first is storage management. Second is data dictionary management. Third is security management. Fourth is backup and recovery management. And the fifth is database communication interface. So I would like to tell one by one. So first is data storage management. Data storage management stores a variety of data and data related forms, reports, etc. related to accounting systems. Second is data dictionary management. So the data dictionary is automatically updated in case of any modification in the database. This dictionary is used to look up the required data or components in a journal, etc. Third is security management. It is very important to maintain the security and privacy within the database from the outside environment. Fourth is backup and recovery management. So, database management system provides adequate backup and recovery procedure in order to ensure the safety of information in accounting software. Fifth is a database communication interface. So, a database management system uses the internet services to communicate reports. Next slide, sir. Saran.
Yeah, I have changed.
Okay. So let us know something about a database management system in finance. So database management systems are specifically designed for the storage and retrieval of data. Banks handle large amounts of data. Database management system enables them to store their data, operate on it, and retrieve it when needed, fast enough for their needs and their customers' needs. So this is all about the database management system in accounts and finance. Thank you.
Yes, they are done.
Okay. So it was all from Shivaraj till Shubham. Okay. For your topic is role of database management system in construction sector. In this, you have covered the relational database management, when you're working in a construction industry, they'll be having the stock registers, inventories, and the assessment managements. That you explained it very well. Like you gave a detailed presentation, and like how to perform this inventory and assessment management also you told using DBMS. Also, from stocking materials to how to follow the policies of that particular organization, you discussed it very well. And the next, you covered the employment and project management as well as accounting, that is financial database management. Also, you have discussed. So it was a good presentation. Congratulations, Team 20.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and
Thank you,
Team
ma'am.
20. Yeah, Team 21. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Are all your team members present for today's class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All are present, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. You can start with your presentation. And 1 minute, Shelly, those can you tell me your roll number?
100, ma'am.
Okay. Shivraj?
102, ma'am.
102, ma'am.
102.
102.
Okay. 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 For remaining others, I have noted only for Shivraj and Shelly. I don't know. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Team 21, you can screen share and start your presentation.
Yes, ma'am. It's uploaded.
Okay. Team 21, who is sharing your screen?
Ma'am, Siddhant, roll number 105.
Yeah, you can start sharing.
Good morning, everyone. Myself, Siddhant, roll number 105 from Team 21, and I'm here to tell you about CDM, role of CDBMs in construction activities. So let's see first what is DBMS. Like DBMS is database management system. It is software for storing and retrieving users' data while considering appropriate security measures. It consists of a group of programs which manipulate the database. The DBMS accepts the request for
Can you
data
make it a
from.
little louder?
Okay.
Yeah.
The DBMS accepts the request for data from an application and instructs the operating system to provide the specific data. And DBMS allow users to create their own databases as per their requirement. The term DBMS includes the user of the database and the other application programs. It provides an interface between the data and the software application. Like you can see here in the diagram, like DBMS, and this is API and application user. Now, like there are so many examples of DBMS. Let's take two examples. We all know about telephone directory. It uses database management system to store data pertaining to people. 1 minute. To store data pertaining to people, phone numbers, and other contact details. And other one is the electricity service provider, using a DBMS to manage billing, client-related issues, to handle fault data, etc. Just some of the examples of DBMS. Now let's see what is the DBMS in construction management. Database management has the potential to extend the use of scheduling, document management, and estimating software programs used in the construction industry. The knowledge of database design and its manipulation have become one of the consideration of construction management profiles. And most of the used software programs in construction management are based on databases
and expanding construction volume and its complexity bring requirement of new technologies rather than traditional management practices. Use of databases in construction industry varies according to its aim and usage, cost/effort ready to be expanded. For example, Resident Management System (RMS) is a large database which is operated by US Army Corps of Engineers to track construction contracts and progress information, etc. Now, it doesn't matter whichever conceptual model or database management system is adopted. The use of a central database management system has several advantages and some costs compared to the commonly employed social purpose data files. Now, what is a data file? A data file consists of a set of records arranged and defined for a single application system. Relational information between items in a record or between records is not explicitly described or available to other application systems. For example, a file of project activity, durations, and schedule times might be assembled and manipulated by a project scheduling system. These data files do not be necessarily be available to the accounting system or to corporate planners. Now, a centralized database system has several advantages over such standalone systems. Like it has redundancy, reduced redundancy. That is, good planning can allow duplicate or similar data stored in different files for different applications to be combined and stored only once. Second one is improved availability. The information may be made available any application program throughout the use of the DBM. The next one is reduce inconsistency. Like if the same data is stored in more than one place, then updating in one place and not everywhere can lead to inconsistency in the database. Second, last one is the enforced data security. Now, it is authorization to use for information that can be centralized. Now, this is a typical illustration of a database management system architecture. Now, from now on, Sivaraman and Soren will tell you about the case study.
Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so hello everyone, I'm Saurav Mandal, role 108, and I'll discuss the first case study, which is based on a research, namely a relational database for construction delay by Gosde Bilgin, Gorkem Ekem, Irem Dickman, and M. Salat Brigonol, which was published in May 2015. So, yeah, construction delay and its analysis have been one of the major consideration in construction projects. Once delay occurs, it has the potential to lead further losses unless it is properly analyzed and related claims are settled. Construction projects are unique, multi-party, and complex in nature. These characteristics of the construction projects obstruct information collection and creation of knowledge in the issue. For example, similar problems may be encountered in similar projects. Delay knowledge acquired during a project life should be accumulated, organized, and shared to prevent relearning from the same mistake. Considering the information gathering, databases become prominent. This study presents a practical database established to capture daily data and to increase knowledge in the issue. So data modeling. Data constitutes the facts, the values of the facts. Information is the interpretation of the captured data, and the knowledge is bringing an action through the decisions taken based on provided information. Data modeling provides the transition of data to knowledge. Relational database management systems are vast in use between all systems, with known examples such as Oracle Database, Microsoft SQL Server, and IBM D2. No, database management in construction industry. Database management has the potential to extend the use of scheduling, document management, and estimating software programs used in construction industry. Thus, knowledge of database design and its manipulation have become one of the major considerations of the construction management professionals. Use of databases in construction industry varies according to its aim and usage cost ready to be expended. For example, Resident Management System (RMS) is a large database which is operated by U.S. Army Corps of engineers to track construction contracts and progress information. Which requires program development, training, travel, software, hardware acquisition, and operating expenses, and has an income from annual license fees. Now we'll see the computer use in construction delay. So some of the notable studies that handle construction delays with computer support are as follows. So Yates in 1993 created a delay analysis system that is structured to be built in existing project management software. Uh, Alcaz in 1995 presented a computerized approach to assist construction project control, claim analysis, including delay analysis. Abhyuday underline the importance of the use of multimedia information such as pictures, videos, and audios in construction project control, and establish a relational database that provides automated acquisition, storage, and retrieval of this information. Hello, Marian Moseley in 2009 also built a relational database for tracking and control of projects to base an automated data collection system from construction sites. Zhu et al. In 2010 developed a web-based data management framework, and in 2013, Chong introduced a data warehousing concept, which is the collection of data from different databases to be able to extract valuable information from voluminous data required for analysis. Now, Shivraman will continue from here and will tell us about construction delay database.
Hello everyone, I'm Shivaraman and my roll number is 106. So I'll discuss the implementation of data modeling part of this case study. This includes selection of database management system, database and structuring database models for storing structured data. And Microsoft Access Server is used for this case study as it combines with Microsoft SQL Jet Engine with user interface. This DBMS has user interface in terms of form for data entry, edit, and filter and report section. So here comes the question: what's the difference between database and model? So a database is a collection of information that is organized so that it can be easily accessed and managed and updated. In simple words, collection of models or tables are called database. So what's a model or a table? So it's a type of data model that determines logical structure of database and fundamentally determines in which manner a data can be stored. And here comes the relational diagram between conceptual model. This entity relation model depicts the logical background of this study. For this study, totally 5 tables or 5 models have been created. They are project, delay, mitigation, dispute, and claims. These are the models or the tables that will be defined and structured in SQL language. This will be in the construction delay database. So as you can see, a project table is connected with delay table, and a mitigation table is connected with delay table, and a dispute table is connected with claim. So the relational database is designed with 5 tables, and attributes specific to each table will be her. The primary keys of each table is provided, and the details of the tables are as follows. So the project table. So this table includes descriptive project attributes to manipulate the results according to the case in hand. Retrieval of information may be on the user selected attributes like client, project delivery system, completion date, etc. Additional budget and duration information is kept to calculate total effects of the delay. And the delay table constitutes of attributes of delay that are identified in order to investigate the individual effects of delay and possible preventive actions. And the mitigation table constitutes of action and effectiveness of these actions are handled through mitigation attributes. And the claim table constitutes of claims and success of these claims are investigated through claim attributes. And the dispute table consists of the claims that are related to dispute. Effectiveness of the dispute resolution process are handled through dispute attributes. This conceptual model, improved with attributes, depicts reason for existence of each entity. The project entity with its characteristic attribute is required to investigate similar projects to the one in hand and extraction of information through its attributes. The core entity delay, which is followed by mitigation entity to handle mitigative actions undertaken. Claim entity for claims issued and dispute entities to reflect claims turned into disputes are represented in this picture. First of all, delay handled in this study means any scheduled delay that is due to difference in planned duration and actual duration of the project. Any case handled through the mitigative action is also recorded to support the control mechanism. Within the methodology of the study, a conceptual and relational models are created to base the study. As you can see, a project table is connected with a delay table through a primary key and foreign key relationship, and claim is related to a delay table. In a similar way, dispute table is related to the claim table through primary and foreign key relations. And regarding implementation, Microsoft Access database used in the establishment of relational database due to its capability of storing everything in single physical file, availability, inexpensiveness, and user friendliness. However, Microsoft Excel is selected for implementation of database in this study due to its higher capability of manipulation and calculation of data. The higher accessibility, even if it may require higher effort for implementation of relational database. And here you can see two screenshots from Microsoft Access database. In the left hand side, you can see the form for data entry. So this shows how to enter data in the database through forms for claim database. And for validation of this database and possible delays that may be occurred in 10 hypothetical projects with 34 delays in total are entered in the database, and the results for a privately owned high-rise building project in Russia is searched within the database by filtering for project type, country, and client categories. Delay causes as inclement weather causes and unforeseen ground conditions need attention with their relatively high occurrence and causes to disputes. Most critical activity seems to be foundation, and the responsible party in the most of the delay is the owner. The related preventive measure is obtained as owners must make sure that sufficient time, money, and effort are allocated to feasibility study and design process due to unforeseen ground conditions delays. The claim that led to disputes have lower success rates, and litigation is not favorable resolution process due to its long duration and cost inadequate when it is compared with negotiation. As you can see in the right-hand side pictures, it is a partial result from our database management system. And here comes the conclusion part. So this case study constitutes a user-friendly, inexpensive, easily accessible database is created to establish a delay knowledge and timely handling of the delays occurred in a project. The established database may be used in the planning process to get insight of some project-specific risky activities, namely provide learning from previous problems encountered and take this information into consideration. Additionally, the database may also be used while project tracking to keep delay data as it happens and may provide ongoing delays analysis to foresee possible immediate action and claim success rates. That's all. My friend Sridharan will continue from now on.
Sridharan.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am ST Sridharan. Ma'am, my roll number is 109. And thank you, team, for giving such a beautiful explanation before. Guys, put on your seat belts and now let's dive into our case study number 2. Yes, the project we're going to take is the viaduct connecting the Western Express Highway to the Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport in Mumbai. So I've given us some basic information about the project. It is cliented by Mumbai Metropolitan Development Authority, MMDA. The company got the contract is the Larsen and Toubro. We all know it, L&T, very famous one. The project year is between 2007 to 2013, 6-year project, and some basic information regarding the viaduct. That is the length of the flyover is 1 kilometer, span is 35 meters, and carriage width is 22.5 meters. On your right side, I have placed a picture on the top showing the picture during the construction, and then we can see how beautifully it is constructed and well finished in the bottom pictures. All right, so let's get into it. Before moving further, let us get comfortable with some basic terms that I will use in the understanding of database that we have made. First is the cost versus price versus value. Let's do a time travel, guys, to 2008 for understanding this. In your left corner, bottom left corner, you can see a Tata Nano manufacturing unit. The original amount spent for manufacturing a Tata Nano car, which includes raw material, electricity, machinery, maintenance, labor, oh my god, etc., is called as cost. And here it is 1 lakh rupees. It is the cost of the car. Now, second picture, you are buying the car in the showroom. Then you will be quoted something called as price, which includes the cost plus cost on profit. So here it is 1 lakh and 25,000 rupees. 25,000 rupees is the profit. So it includes the cost plus profit on cost, that becomes the price. On 2021, you want to sell this car. Now let's come back to the present. You want to sell the car. Then you will be quoting something to the buyer, right? That is called as value, which means value is the present day cost of the car, technically termed as book value. Here it need not be car, it may be a construction equipment that I will be using now, and it may be an asset, property, building, construction, whatever it is. So please be comfortable with this cost versus price versus value. All these three terms have different meanings. Now, next part is this salvage value. Please look at the brand new Maruti 800 car in your left corner with the price. What is price? It is the cost plus profit on cost. Price to be 5 lakh rupees and a design life of 12 years. To your right, after 12 years, the same car has now the value of just 1 lakh rupees. Here we are basically finding the book value after the utility period, before dismantling. It is very important. If I'm dismantling it, it is not salvage value, rather it is scrap value. Salvage value is before dismantling, after the utility period. So this is called a salvage value. I have mentioned it in a small definition. Value of an asset. Asset may be anything, car, bike, construction equipment, which I will be using, a building, whatever it is. After its utility, without being dismantled, is called a salvage value. The third point is the depreciation cost. Please look at the brand new backhoe on the bottom left, which is bought for 14 lakh rupees with a design life, which we will technically call DL to be 15 years. On your bottom right, we have the same backhoe after 10 years, not 15 years, after 10 years with a book value of 10 lakh, and you want to replace it due to some wear and tear. The difference between the price for which you bought and the book value, which shows how much an asset has depreciated in the specific span, is known as depreciation cost. Note that the salvage value is the net value and is calculated at the end of the utility period, whereas depreciation cost is just a difference and it's calculated within the DL. Now I put forward a small question. What is the name of the book value at the end of design life? This is just a small question. You might get an answer, and please tell it after the presentation. I'll be waiting for it. Now we are now getting into the basic aim to make the centralized database. What is the aim for it? See, all the construction equipment will be involved in the project. What I want is I will be storing the depreciation cost and book value of each equipment during the execution period. That is for 6 years. What and all equipments involved? What is the depreciation cost? What is the book value every year? That I will be noting. I need it. Okay. Why? Let's see in the bottom. It is needed during specific scenarios. Now, what is the need of centralized database? That's the next question. That need is specified on the bottom. Centralized database makes it accessible to the management in the headquarters. Headquarters of L&T will be somewhere else, and the execution team in the site is in Mumbai. So if the database is centralized, then both the management team in the HQ and the execution engineer in the site in Mumbai, they both can access the data whenever, wherever needed. So that's the need for centralized database. Now let us get into the applications. We have the record of all the equipments involved in our project, which as it is centralized, thus can be accessed by both execution team in the site in Mumbai and the admin of the HQ in the L&T. Now, what is the table we have made? We have made the equipment ID. Every equipment in the construction field will be given an unique equipment ID. Then type is motor grader, which is an equipment used for the finishing purpose. Since we are using the bridge, we need motor grader. Brand is CAT. Then model is given to be CAT 120K2. YOP means year of purchase. In which year you bought this equipment? 2006. Then the price is given some 45 lakh. And then design life is 12 years. Salvage value is 13 lakh. Salvage value is the end book value. And SF is actually sinking fund. Sinking fund is something that we use for calculating the annuity, which is not needed as of now, but just we are mentioning. It is due needed in case of equipment record. SF interest is also mentioned. For every equipment, we give equipment ID, type, brand, model, YOP, price, DL, salvage value, is the SF interest. And we are listing out. I have listed for motor grader, bulldozer, backhoe, tractor, and smooth wheel roller. There are n number of equipments involved. We need mixers, we need conveyor belts for the evacuation purpose. We need dump trucks. All these will be there, but for explanation purpose, I have taken the small part of the database, and it should be noted that using this the record, the execution team can thus know the availability of equipments for them, and also they can adapt an appropriate maintenance schedule and check on the equipments on a regular basis. The admin department, by accessing it, can know the type and number of equipment they have deployed for a particular project. Admin department is there in the HQ. They are not coming to the field physically, but still they know it with the help of the CDBMS. This also helps to estimate the quantity and the kind of construction equipments that are owned by the L&T on the whole. So this is a use. We can see how CDBMS is applied. Now let us get into the second case of application. This is an important application indeed for the CDBMS. Here we are tabling about a single equipment. Please note it. We are trying to make a database for a single equipment. Equipment ID provided. Yes, it is EE2390. Type is backhoe. Price is 27 lakh. Brand is JCB. Design life is 14 years. Salvage value is given to be some 8 lakh something. Okay. So now we are noting all the year. Year is from 2007 to 2013. I explained the aim itself. Only for the execution phase, we need the values. Then depreciation cost we are calculating, and book value. We are using the declining balance method for this purpose. Program will be there. That program, if you give the input value, you'll be getting the appropriate output value. Point to be noted, book value is reducing. 25 lakh, 23 lakh, 21 lakh, 19 lakh, like that is reducing. It's an important point to be noted. And it should be also noted that we are storing the depreciation cost for the execution phase of the project only. Now the case goes on like this. We are taking a hypothetical scenario. We have a backhoe with a year of purchase to be 2000 with a design life of 14 years. As the flyover construction from head to tail involves the application of backhoe, we know it. In the evacuation, in the finishing, maybe to make some trenches, we always need backhoe. It has gone through extreme wear and tear and not serving up to the mark as it's supposed to be. So the site engineer of L&T in Mumbai doing the construction project of the bridge wants to replace it in the year of 2010. Well, here comes the role of RCDBMS. As the admin department as well as the engineer inside can access the database. This database can be accessed by anyone. The admin department in HQ and the engineer inside. So they can find the appropriate book value of the backhoe. What is book value? I explained before itself. Now they can find the appropriate book value, and hence it will be a transparent quote to the seller for the buyer. Okay. The admin department, without coming to the site physically, they can give the permission for selling the backhoe authentically, and can also thus ensure that the backhoe is sold for the fair price by the engineer. It shows the transparency as well as the security for the company. And for the sake of engineer, he will be having a proof that yes, for this much book value only I sold. Why? I got this from the database. So a kind of proof is also there for the engineer. He might not get in the trouble. If we if we construct a bridge, if the deflection is just more than 0.3 mm, the job of engineer is in the danger. Okay, so we always need proof for it. So this also giving us a proof. Now CDBMS can also be used for the inventory control also. That's also one of the explanation. Now this is what I told you before. The book value is 19,62,710 on 2010 for the backhoe. So that we got it from the CDBMS, known by both the management and the engineer. The bottom diagram shows how the CDBMS plays the central role in connecting the engineer in charge and the management for maintaining the transparency and the security. So thank you everyone. I hope you have enjoyed the ride. Seems to be a perfect landing indeed. That was a good landing too. And now my friend Ilyas will continue. Thank you ma'am for giving us this opportunity. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Hello, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you're audible.
Thank you, Sridharan. Hi, everyone. I am Ilyas, roll number 107. Siddhant, can you share the screen?
Siddhant, can you please do it? You have the file, right? Sorry.
I think someone entered this.
Yeah. I instead of giving the giveaway control, I stopped the presentation. I'm sorry for it.
So now let's see the case 3. We have the motor grader on its book value. Equipment ID, the table shows equipment ID W120 and the price, brand value, and the design life of 10 years. It has a design life of 10 years. So it has shown the depreciation cost and book value from the year 2007 to 2013. Here you can see there is a rapid decline of the depreciation cost and its book value. Here declining balance method is used for calculating depreciation cost and book value for 6 years for a motor grader. Likewise, the data will be calculated and stored for the remaining equipments. Next slide. So case 4 shows the maintenance schedule of a tractor for the year 2007. So there are various types of maintenance for this tractor, which is used in the construction site. Oil service has a quantity of 25 liter with a cost around 16,143, and it has a filter change, the quantity of 3 filters with the cost around 1,050, and respectively it has a tire change and battery check, which total cost will be around 35,890. And from the code, it is known that the maintenance cost for a year is equal to 1.2% of total cost of the project of the year. Likewise, the total maintenance of all equipments are stored, and the finance department can keep a check on it whether it is true or not. Next slide. From these cases, it is clear that CDBMS play a central role in the execution of a project by providing the required data at appropriate places, as it is accessible by every department of an organization. CDBMS is basically a type of database that is stored, located, as well as maintained at a single location only. This type of database is modified and managed from that location itself. So you can refer this diagram. So we have collected the data by using the references given in. So let's see the advantages of CDBMS. The data integrity is maximized as the whole database is stored at a single physical location. This means that it is easier to coordinate the data and it is as accurate and consistent as possible. So the data redundancy is minimal in the centralized database. All the data is stored together and not scattered across different locations. So it is easier to make sure there is no redundant data available. So since all the data is in one place, there can be stronger security measures around it. So the centralized database is much more secure. Data is easily portable because it is stored at the same place. Centralized database is cheaper than other databases as it requires less power and maintenance. All the information in the centralized database can be easily accessed from the same location and at the same time. So we have seen the advantages. Now just check the disadvantages of CDBMS. Since all the data is at one location, it takes more time to search and access. If the network is slow, this process takes even more time. So the data traffic is more in case of CDBMS. This may create a bottleneck situation. Since all the data is at same location, if multiple users try to access it simultaneously, it creates a problem. This may reduce the efficiency of the system. If there are no database recovery measures in place and a system failure occurs, then all the data in the database will be destroyed. That's all with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, team 21 members. We have covered the CDBMS, the entire thing with multiple case studies. And you also started with the conceptual model and the relationship diagram. That was the thing, like most required students, it will be easy for the students to understand the relationship between the different models and how to link the those segments also was explained. And the case study 1 and 2, and finally the advantages and disadvantages were very good. And it was a good presentation. Students, do you have any doubts in this presentation? Case study 2 taken by Sridharan. It was simply mind blowing. You covered the entire segments. Like that was taken in MS project, right?
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes,
I can
ma'am.
hear you. Yeah,
Ma'am.
must
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
was that
Yes.
was that your own example, or you took that image from some other sources?
Ma'am, actually, the point is, I took the rate only. Actually, I used the declining balance method to calculate it for myself, ma'am. I calculated the every value. So I took the data from the like what equipment they used, what is the cost they bought during that time. That was there. I took that only. Then
you
I calculated
it
for the book value and the salvage value, ma'am.
Okay. So, and you have to include that one particular source alone in the particular image, like where from which source you have taken the data. That alone you have to include from which source, probably from any journals or from internet sources or for text from textbooks. That alone you have to include. And like you calculated it and you presented it in a very good manner.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, very good presentation, team 21. And do you have any doubt? I can understand it's already 1:46. People will be telling why am I taking like it is our lunch break. I'm really sorry for it. And if you have any doubts, you can ask, and others can leave the meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. And on Friday's class, team 22 and 23 will be presenting. 24 and 25 on Monday and 18 on Monday or on Tuesday. Is it okay? Okay. So thank you, students.